Charlotte today.
Yes, Jeffrey Lacker talked about jobs, growth, and where interest rates are heading now. And Eyewitness News reporter Jim Bradley is live right now uptown. Jim, what is his outlook?
Well, Erica, Jeffrey Lacker says he'd love to see the economy here in Charlotte and the rest of the country, for that matter, start growing a little bit faster. But as he looks in his crystal ball, unfortunately, that's not exactly what he's seeing.
Charlotte's economy keeps humming along. Job growth is up, unemployment down, and construction is picking up. But at the same time, the drag of the Great Recession hasn't let go completely.
Spending and growth continues to be held back by household cautiousness, low productivity growth, and a relatively restrained housing market.
It may sound like technical talk, but as president of the Richmond Federal Reserve, Jeffrey Lacker is one of the country's most powerful voices on the economy. Today in uptown Charlotte, he predicted interest rates will begin to rise next year, but he says growth in the overall economy, the measure most of us pay attention to, will be moderate at best.
The kind of growth we've seen over the last few years seems to be more likely than not to characterize what we've seen in the future.
Beginning this week, some of Charlotte's biggest companies will start reporting second quarter earnings, including Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Duke Energy, and Family Dollar. Economist Mark Vittner says they'll be closely watched.
All we really need to see is some growth. We need to see some growth in top-line revenues, which we really haven't seen much of in recent years, and some growth in earnings. And we're fairly optimistic about that.
The Fed's Jeffrey Lacker told me he sees few big jumps, but rather an economy that just keeps chugging ahead.
Steady improvement. I think steady improvement at a moderate pace. That's the way I'd characterize it.
Jeffrey Lacker's comments here in Charlotte today were immediately picked up and reported by national business outlets today, especially what he had to say about interest rates. Again, he says that as inflation rises, he believes that'll put more pressure on the Fed to increase interest rates, perhaps around this time next year. Live in Uptown, I'm Jim Bradley, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jim.